Hey Tarosphere, it's Holly from Cape Cod Creatures, and I am here with day 4 of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot Challenge. And the prompt for today is top 5 tarot books of 2017. That being said, again, majority of my collection was acquired in 2017, so it took me a bit to pare the stuff down, but we finally got there. So book number 1 would be the guidebook from the Mystical Manga Tarot. There are a handful of guidebooks on here because sometimes the handbooks are amazing. So as it pertains to this deck, it's really good at explaining the card images. And it's written by Barbara Moore, by the way. Let's see. It touches on numerology a little bit. It touches on tarot reading ethics, which is really nice. There's a glossary of terms for those who are like super new and aren't familiar to tarot, which I really enjoy. And then the other thing that I really like is there is an appendix on the Fool's Journey, and it tells the Fool's Journey as a story, like once upon a time the Fool did this, and then this happened, and then that happened. And that really helps to kind of put the Fool's Journey into perspective, because that is a question that I have asked in like every tarot whatever. It's like, what is the Fool? Because it's like, oh, it tells the story of the Fool as he transitions through life, and I'm just like, well, is there a story? Like, where's the fucking story? Is there a book I can buy? And then I finally got that in this book, so that was awesome. And it comes with the deck. This is a Llewellyn deck and book set. Totally worth it. You should definitely get it. The book itself is in full color. It gives you spreads. The pages are somewhat glossy. It's got a really nice feeling cover. Say what you want about Llewellyn and the quality of their cardstock, but their books are always amazing. So, excellent book on that. Then, my second book is another guidebook. Would be the book for the Line Strider Tarot. Again, it's a really cute little guidebook. I love Ciolo's writing. The thing that I really enjoy about this book is not only does she give you keywords and then meanings for the cards, and not just as pertains to the artwork, but in general as well. What she does is tell you possible combination meanings, which is great because this will help new readers start to form stories with the cards. Like, it's not just like, oh, well, justice means that, there's something out of balance or something's unfair, and then the death card means a change. It'll be like, well, like it'll be like, okay, well, it's time to make a change because something is unfair, or these two words together could mean that there is something coming for you in the workplace because there is somebody wielding their power in not a right way, and perhaps it's time to move on from that career. It tells you like what the cards can mean with different combinations, which is really nice. And just her writing is really easy to understand. It also gives you astrology and numerology in here too, which is really nice. And then she also puts plant correspondences with each of the cards. So if you wanted to kind of work this into any spell work, or if you wanted to, carry a sprig of something to remind you of the card that you pulled that day without having to like carry your tarot deck around with you, like if you pulled a card and the corresponding plant was basil, you can fill a little thing with basil, or you can put some basil in your food, and then that'll be a reminder to you for the card you drew. But anyway, that is another one of my favorite books, and it has been touted as one of the best guidebooks with tarot, not just by myself, but by others. And the last guidebook that I chose, which would be book number 3, book number 3, would be the Arcana Tarot book, because it is just amazing. So I mentioned this deck earlier for my top 5 decks of 2017, and I can't mention that deck here without this book, because again, for a Kickstarted campaign, the finished product was amazing and it arrived on time. So this is a cloth bound book with a silver embossed cover, so right away just super impressive. And then the inside of the covers have the like piles of the cards as an image, and each of the cards gets its own page. The book is in color. It's nicely organized, and it sometimes it tells you like a little bit about why the artwork, like why he chose the artwork that he does. Sometimes he doesn't, but he always gives you good solid card meanings. And he gives you keywords too. Now the thing that I like about the Arcana Tarot is, as it was created, it started as an Inktober challenge, and I think he just did the devil card and like called it a day. And then somebody was just like, oh man, you should do a whole deck. And he was like, oh, maybe I should. So he learned tarot, and then as he learned each card, he drew it. But like, he really committed to learning. A lot of the time you see people, they'll just draw tarot. They'll like, I hate to say it, but like they don't do it with any heart. The artists go in, they're like, well, I'm going to create a tarot deck because that's popular right now and I can make some money off my art that way. And that's all well and good, but they just learn like one or two keywords for the meanings, and they don't grasp the deeper meaning of each card, and they don't bother to try to depict it or express it in any way. And this book really shows that David has a really good grasp on tarot. So it's not just, he didn't just create it to make a buck. Like, he really cared about the tarot deck he created. So, and that definitely comes across in the book and in the quality of the product. But anyway, so that's book number 3, one of my favorite books from 2017. All right. And then, oh, you know what? I think this wound up being a 6-book thing. Oops, my bad. All right, so book number 4 is Modern Tarot by Michelle T. This book is, okay, it's somewhere between beginner and not beginner. It's like you kind of already have a somewhat general grasp on the Rider-Waite, but maybe not totally, like, is where you'd read this. So if you're an advanced reader, this book is going to be a little yawn-inducing. It does get, you know, there are some parts in the book where she does kind of go into personal anecdotes about what the cards and how she memorized them and what they mean to her and what they could possibly mean to somebody else. And that's all well and good. She uses, I forget the deck that she uses as imagery in the book, but it works well with a Rider-Waite. You don't need to go out and buy that deck, which is nice, because I wouldn't, because honestly it doesn't really speak to me. Anyway, it doesn't quite resonate. But the thing that I do like is that at the end of each, so it only does card descriptions. There's no like spreads, there's no tarot ethics, there's no numerology, there's no like how to use tarot and spells, there's no like chunks of, or like intuitive reading versus yada yada. It's just card meanings. But she does break it down. At the end of each card meaning, she does give you a little ritual or spell or whatever you want to call it, or meditation exercise. She gives you a little bit of homework. So this one is for the 3 of Wands. It's Be the 3 of Wands, and it's how to, it's like a little meditative exercise you can do to further connect with the meaning of the card. Sometimes she gives you a journaling prompt. Sometimes she gives you, like I said, a ritual to do, or like a little mojo bag to create. So that's kind of fun, but I don't know. It's a very good, it's a good solid basic book. If you're kind of like if you're a city mouse and you're having a little bit of a hard time connecting with with tarot, this book would definitely be a help. But if you've got a good grasp on it already, I don't know, maybe wait for it to go on clearance. Book number 5 is The Psychic Tarot, and this one is by Nancy Antonucci and Melanie Howard. And I love this book. Oh my God. All right. So if you have a decent grasp on your basic Rider-Waite meanings, but you are looking to maybe draw a little more from your intuition and less from book meanings of cards, the exercises in this book are fantastic. It was recommended to me. By somebody on the Eclectic Forum, and has just been great so far. I haven't made it too far into the book because a lot of the exercises do require some alone time and some quiet time, so you can kind of like really center and focus, but it is fantastic. So if you're looking to get a little more in touch with the not fortune tellery, but like if you're looking to get a little more in touch with the unknowable side of tarot, the thing that makes tarot like ooh uncanny and kind of gives you those chills, this is a great book to have. And last but not least, certainly like the bet out of all the books I've shown you, this is the book I'd, like, if you'd only buy one, this is the book I would tell you to buy. And that is Modern Witchcraft Book of Tarot. It is just fantastic. Even for somebody that knows, you know, I've got a lot handled as far as tarot. I've come a long way in my in the past year as far as tarot is concerned, but I was still absorbing all sorts of new information out of this book. So it's hardcover, but it's not an unaffordable hardcover, which is nice. But it touches on things like numerology. It touches on the symbols and colors of each card. It does give you meanings for all of the cards. So as you go through the book, you'll be like, okay, well, here's the Six of Cups. And then it gives you keywords. And then it also tells you upright and reversed meanings. And then it'll give you like an example of for the card in a love reading, in a money reading, and a career reading. So it's nice to have those examples. And then it also gives you, you know, tarot spells you can do. And it gives you, I think it touches on some spreads. Let's see. Yep, it does, you know, spells for success. And then it tells you taking the next step in your tarot practice. It tells you some things that you can, like, it teaches you how to journal a little bit. It gives you further reading, which is really nice. So again, if I was to teach a course, and actually something I've been toying with, you know, my next step when I decide to leave the dog shop behind. I was thinking about branching out, and maybe, because I do like teaching, this would be the book that I would teach out of. It is basically an amazing primer. It's like Cliff Notes, but on steroids for tarot. So definitely the book out of all the books I have mentioned here that I would 100% recommend. So that is my top 5, or rather top 6 books of 2017. And thank you so much, guys. I will catch you tomorrow.